do another one. This is called Christmas Stories for Little Angels. And this one is cute. So they go fast, I'm sure. The same story, same wonderful story, but a little easier. Mary's Surprise. Mary was a good girl, just grown up. When she lived with her parents and always did as they asked. They gave her everything she needed. They had found a fine man called Joseph for her to marry. Mary liked to know what would happen from one day to the next. She didn't like surprises. One morning, Mary was sweeping the floor. Suddenly, a bright light appeared in the corner. Mary gasped and dropped her broom. "Don't be afraid," said a voice. An angel stepped forward. "God has sent me with a message. He would like you to be the mother of his child. It will be a boy, and his name will be Jesus." "It's a nice name," said Mary, "but the whole idea is a big surprise. I'll have to think about it." Mary thought hard. What would happen if she did as God asked? Her parents might think she was bad. Her friends might think she was mad. And Joseph would be so sad. She would have to say no. "God would be very glad," said the angel. And I'll show you the picture of that one, Mary's Surprise. Mary's Surprise. And I'm just no good at this, as you can tell. See her sweeping the floor? That's a little bit better. Okay, let's go to the next one, or next part. Mary looked out of the window. She thought of the way her parents smiled when she pleased them. She wondered how God's smile might look. Mary looked back at the angel. "I will do what God has asked me," she said. "Thank you," said the angel. "God will be so pleased. And one day, so will people all over the world." The angel disappeared. Mary took a deep breath. Then she went outside. It was time to share the surprise with Joseph. Bad news, good news. This is going to be Joseph. And something like that. Anyway, Joseph couldn't get to sleep. He tossed and twisted, fretted and fidgeted. He counted camels backwards in his head, but his eyes stayed wide open. "Such bad news," he muttered. "I can't marry Mary now." At last, Joseph fell asleep. He dreamed that a bright angel sat on the stool by his bed. "This is a very good seat," said the angel. "Did you make it yourself?" Joseph's mouth fell open. He nodded. "I thought so. God told me that you take care over everything you do. That's why God chose you." "Chose me for what? I've got enough to think about without making more furniture," Joseph grumbled. "What's the matter?" said the angel. "I've had some bad news," sighed Joseph. "Mary is having a baby. I don't know who its father is." "I've got good news," said the angel. "God is the baby's father, but he would like you to take care of it for him." "I don't think I'd be any good at that job," said Joseph. "I've never been a dad before." "God will help you," said the angel. The dream was so real that Joseph woke with a jump. He knew what he must do. Joseph raced round to Mary's house and banged on the door. "I need to see Mary," he shouted. Mary's father threw open the window. "She's asleep in bed," he growled, "like we all were." "No, I'm not." Mary appeared at the door. Joseph threw his arms around her. "Mary, will you still marry me?" "Of course I will," she said. Journey to Bethlehem. "We have to go on a journey," said Joseph. The donkey prickled up his ears. "A journey?" said Mary. "Everyone has to go back to their family home to be counted." "But your family home is in Bethlehem. That's miles away." Mary frowned. "You can ride on the donkey. He's good and strong." The donkey looked at Mary. He looked at the enormous bump where the baby was growing inside her. His ears drooped. The journey lasted for days. The donkey's feet were sore and his knees knocked together. He was ready for a rest. Mary and Joseph were ready for a rest too, but all the beds in Bethlehem were full. The donkey nudged the door of the stable. "I can't stay in there," wailed Mary. "What if my baby comes?" "That's all we have," said Joseph. "I'll ask the owner if we can stay." It was all agreed. The animals would have to squeeze up and make room. Mary sank into a pile of clean straw. The donkey dozed off. When the donkey woke up, light filled the stable. Mary and Joseph were gazing towards the manger. A baby lay on the hay. The donkey knew there was something special about the baby. He forgot his aching knees and knelt down. "The angel told me to call him Jesus," whispered Mary. Joseph nodded and smiled. "I'll take good care of him," he said. Then we have the smallest shepherd. And this is the smallest shepherd. Simon was learning to be a shepherd. Tonight was the first time he had stayed out all night. "Don't be afraid," he whispered to the lamb on his knee. "I'll take care of you." He cuddled closer to the fire. "Not scared, are you?" laughed Judah. Simon shook his head, but the field beyond the reach of the firelight looked darker than ever. "I'm not afraid of anything," boasted Judah. "The shepherds don't shake," agreed Daniel. Simon shivered and wished he was brave like his brothers. Suddenly the sky exploded with light. "Help!" shrieked Judah, and he fell to the ground. "Save me!" screamed Daniel, and he dived behind a bush. Simon peered through his fingers like that. An angel smiled down at him, brighter than 50 fires. More than 100 fires, still brighter. "Don't be afraid," said the angel. "This very night, a baby has been born in Bethlehem. He is God's son, and he will bring joy to the whole world." Simon dared to take his hands away from his eyes. Angels filled the sky, all singing for joy. Simon gazed at them and felt brave from his toes to the top of his head. All at once the angels disappeared. Simon looked up at the sky, ablaze with stars. "You know what?" he murmured, kissing the lamb's woolly head. "I don't think I'll ever be afraid again." Heavenly hallelujah. The streets of Bethlehem were dark, but one small stable was lit up like a lantern. As the shepherds raced toward it, Simon recognized the flare of gold around the roof. "That's angel light," he breathed. When the shepherds reached the stable, they hung back, suddenly very shy. "Smallest first," said Judah, poking Simon in the back. Simon tiptoed into the stable and peered into the rough woolen manger. An ordinary-looking baby lay in it, wrapped up snug and warm and fast asleep. But Simon remembered the words of the angel. This was no ordinary baby. This was God's son. Simon elbowed Daniel, and Judah fell aside. He dashed out into the quiet streets. "Wake up," he yelled. "Something amazing has happened." Lamps flickered and voices murmured as Simon ran up and down shouting out the exciting news. People appeared in doorways, children rubbing sleep from their eyes. In ones and twos, holding the little ones by the hand, they followed Simon to the stable. The children squeezed in, giggling and whispering. More angels gathered, singing a heavenly hallelujah. The baby slept on, smiling in his sleep, as though the whole world had been made for him. Look at see this one. Baby is still sleeping. Baby Jesus, that is. Let's see. Jasper's new friend. Jasper was tired of looking after grumpy camels. He was tired of sleeping on the ground and missed his cozy hayloft above the camel's stable. Cooking smells drifted from the village, and Jasper imagined families laughing together over their meal. He couldn't remember his own family. Jasper was the least important of the camel keepers. Everyone ignored him, especially the wise men who were in charge of this trip. They were busy watching the star. It was their idea to follow it all this way. Jasper took his toy camel from beneath his cloak. She had been his friend since he was tiny. He hugged her and blinked his tears away. "That's the place," shouted one of the wise men, pointing. The star hung above a small house up the hill in Bethlehem. Jasper sighed, got up, and untied the camels. Their journey wasn't over yet. When they reached the house, the wise men went inside. Jasper peered round the door. A young couple sat inside, a baby crawling at their feet. The wise men offered the baby expensive but grown-up presents: gold, frankincense, and myrrh. The mother smiled and thanked them. But the baby spotted Jasper. Gurgling, he crawled toward the door and lifted his chubby hands. "I haven't brought you a present," whispered Jasper. The baby pointed at the toy camel. Jasper shook his head. "She's my special friend. She's my only friend." The baby hugged Jasper's leg. Nobody had hugged Jasper in a long time. Jasper crouched down and held out his camel. The baby took it and smiled at Jasper as though he was the most important person in the world, and Jasper knew that he had found a true friend. The end. So, a little different version. Anyway, that's it from me. I love you, and Merry Christmas, and have a very, very Happy New Year. Bye.